Hey everybody, this is Stephanie Luares from Heart and Soul Fitness and Wellness, and I just wanted to pop in for a short video with an update on everything that's been going on. I found myself a little challenged in recording over the last month. I have a whole list of videos that I want to add to this particular playlist, especially with my journey to diagnosis with autoimmune condition, everything else. I will get to that, I promise. But I just wanted to pop in with an update from my last video. And yes, I am sitting in a beautiful Epsom salt bath this morning, just relaxing a little bit before church. So having a great morning. So last time I had just been diagnosed with autoimmune Hashimoto's, as well as starting to treat my lymphedema and lipedema a little bit more seriously than I have in the past. So, and one of the things that I had mentioned that I have employed alongside treatment is nutritional therapy in not only foods that are shown beneficial for managing all of these different conditions, but from a recent food sensitivity test that is I don't know if I mentioned it, was very different than previous results that I've had. But in that, my dietitian and I are tackling the top 5 sensitivities, only looking at 2 at a time, because I will not participate in food restriction and anything that exacerbates my eating disorder or anything like that. And really being honoring to my values of intuitive eating. And I'm sorry, my eyes are all over the place without my glasses on, so I'm not actually looking at the phone. But one of the things in that nutrition therapy is we are doing elimination and reintroduction of those sensitivities. The first one being gluten, because blood work has shown non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And the other is dairy. So it's been about 2 months of elimination from gluten and dairy, give or take a week. I'd have to look back on the calendar. But what we're doing is 90 days of elimination, then 90 days of structured reintroduction to understand if it's gluten, dairy, lactose, or some combination of those that do cause different issues within my body. So one thing I can tell you is I find that I sleep better. Not that I'm more rested, I'm still just as tired and the fatigue is real, but when I go to bed, unless I get up in the middle of the night to pee or something, I find that my sleep is much deeper. So hopefully over time that will actually convert to feeling rested, but I'm happy that that sleep is not as light and more quality sleep. The other thing is a significant reduction in my migraines. Even though I had come back into better management because they were pretty out of control in the spring, and I was getting concerned again. But then after I had the daith piercing, that helped immensely. I'm probably going to get the other one done in the new year, just because I also had a lot of muscle relaxation with that you can definitely tell. You can even see this side of my shoulders is more tense than this side right now. Isn't that bizarre? But so I'm probably gonna get the other side done, even if just for that benefit of that neck and shoulder muscle relaxation. So And I'll talk more about the Dave piercing in another video. I also have some blogs about it as well on my website, heartandsoulfit.com. And so migraines, much better. So I maybe, and there's a big difference now between the headaches that I get and the migraines. I don't have to sit here and like, okay, is this a migraine or is this a headache? And it usually is more tension type headaches than migraines. I'd have to look back at my log to actually remember how many I'm having right now, but I do know it's significantly less. I'm taking far less migraine medicine than I have. And since I had the Dave piercing, I was actually able to completely taper off one of the daily medications that I was taking to prevent migraines. So that's been super. I've been very pleased with that. So gluten and dairy free from a like food consumption perspective has been an experiment. Because there are a lot of foods that I like that are gluten inclusive or have dairy in them. And, some of them are things like I don't mind not having, but some of them I do. And so it's been really doing a lot of homework and finding what are those alternatives that are out there for the foods that contain gluten, for the foods that have dairy in them. And I've been pretty successful at finding most things. Some you have to try a little bit harder. I've tried some different recipes for different things. We're coming into Thanksgiving this week. I was able to find a gluten-free, dairy-free stuffing mix and pie crust recipe, and then I found a recipe, dairy-free pumpkin pie recipe. So I'm very excited to make that, just to have those traditional things that you enjoy. You don't have to go without. It's just finding a different way to make things happen. So with the lymphedema and lipedema treatment, I just ordered a boatload of new compression wear, which is wonderful. If you need a link, let me know because it's phenomenal. And I'm pretty sure you get a discount if you use the link. I have to go back to the email. But it's definitely one of the more reasonably priced brands out there, and it's extremely size inclusive. They go up quite a bit in size. So in addition to compression, I have also been doing more of the Epsom salt baths at least once a week. Ideally, you want to do it 2 or 3 times a week. Once a week is what I've been aiming for and have been pretty successful at getting. And then also the pneumatic compression machine is phenomenal. I do my best to do at least an hour a day. I probably only end up doing it 6 days a week because there's just a couple days in my week that finding that hour to disconnect is a little bit difficult. And I mean, just going through the effort of getting into the cuffs and getting into a position where, you're basically like a sitting duck for an hour. And so like breaking it up into smaller increments is just super labor intensive and not exciting at all. I've seen a lot of change in my legs from the pneumatic compression. The downside though is my lymphatic drainage is very slow. So as a result, my arms and my abdomen are more swollen. So it's been a little bit of a like a self-conscious thing because like it is extremely noticeable like that my abdomen is distended, and it's frustrating to me because I know what it is. It's lymphatic drainage that's not happening, but it's making my midsection just look way bigger than it actually is in reality. So I'm going to be looking at some more full coverage compression, and I go back to see my doctor in January, I believe, and perhaps altering the medication that I'm taking that is aiding in a little bit of that drainage. So hopefully we'll see what happens. I've started doing a little bit more research into lymphedema and lipedema specialists. But even with insurance, programs like that are extremely expensive. And I would probably want to continue these conservative therapies for at least a year or two before looking at some of these more invasive programs, because they are surgical based. And I want to do as much as I can before looking at something that's super invasive. So we'll keep doing the things and seeing the results, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and we'll go from there. And I will come back with some more updates as well as more backstory and all of the other things. But I just wanted to pop on with a little, not so little update today. And it is coming up to Thanksgiving here in the United States. So have a beautiful Thanksgiving, and we'll talk again soon.